Hello there. Hello, hello. So I am going live on my 7th Facebook Live. It's already been 7 Facebooks that I've been here. So it's already been a little bit of a journey. And the thing that I've been focusing on right now is the whole concept of the baseline. And I hear this all the time from my clients and actually just with other folks. I got to get back to my baseline. I have lost my baseline and I had a good baseline that was really working for me. So this talk that I'm doing for the last 7 weeks about baseline has all been about self-regulation and emotional intelligence and how you are keeping yourself steady. So here's the summary of what we've gone through. I'm going to read it because it's one of those days where I'm remembering what I write down better than just being spontaneous. So there is a method to my madness. Let me explain that first. That I am going to be offering a online curriculum program, and I'll invite people, and if you want to join, you could also shoot me an email. I'll invite you to shoot me an email so I can sign you up. So basically this is a program, this is a concept, this is a theme that will underline all of the courses that I'll be doing online in my coaching practice over the next year and on. And basically, I really want people to have a similar language about how they work on themselves and different places and ways to touch base with yourself around your self-evolvement. So here's some of the areas. So we've been talking about shifting your attitude, shifting your mood. How do you do that? Some of my meditations have been addressing that, the Monday meditations. The concept of just basic self-regulation, staying consistent, mind, body, spirit, cleaning up your side of the street with your self-talk, with your reflection, with the meditation and the things that you do to ground yourself. How do you stay with yourself? How do you be with yourself? What's the concept of being present? And how do you know you're present? What is presence? How do you manage your past history, your triggers, your future worries and anxiety, and continue to stay present? Like, where is the right time for all of that? How are you doing and being what you want? Are you dreaming? What are your dreams? Are you doing your dreams? How do you want to operate on a daily basis that helps you function the best, that helps you be able to be your best self, to be more of yourself? What is the kind of self-care that's required that's just unique to you? And how do you challenge yourself? That's one way we know that we're growing, is we give ourselves different kinds of challenges. And then you might have to work on dealing with setbacks. And sometimes setbacks actually help us figure out, do we have the right coping skills? Have we developed the right coping skills? And what are the ones we're using? Are they healthy ones? And what do you need more of in your life? What do you need more of in terms of support, in terms of your ability to communicate with other folks, for even to know what you want? How do you manage your stress and anxiety? How are you maintaining your relationships? How are you socializing? Are you developing the kind of relationships that feed you in terms of your work life, your family life, your home life, your intimate partner, your friendships? That is such an important element of us growing and evolving, is being able to interact with people who are really focusing on similar kinds of things. And even if they're not, that we're also being able to adapt to people that aren't working on themselves. And how do we just deal with interacting with a variety of folks and staying really centered in ourselves? And then there's the whole idea about empathy and compassion, and how you show that to people and to yourself, and the whole concept of perception. How do you feel like people perceive you? Can you, get a handle of that or kind of intuit that, and also not look at it as judgment, but maybe lost in translation, like how you translate who you are and what is important to you and what you see in other people that they're showing you that is their value system, and how you interact with that and them. So these are all the things that we talked about, even in terms of like, how do you stay being in a crowd of people with different energies and just realize how that energy affects you, and maybe how you save your energy or how you protect yourself around certain types of energies. So that was all so far about what creating a baseline is. It's about developing like emotional intelligence, self-regulation, and reflection and centering. And those concepts are so alive in all of our relationships. And I'm all about relationships, right? And so some of what I really help people look at is the concept of them, how they're working on themselves, how they're interacting with other people, how they're growing, and how they're staying true to themselves and being the most they want to be, the best of who they are. And then also being human. So what I want to introduce you to today, to just expand on the topic of mind, body, spirit, of how to have more consistency and functioning in your life and reflection, is to think about this great tool, the Life Pie. And this tool was originally introduced to me by Julie Cameron in The Artist's Way, and I've used it over the years, have told lots of my clients about it. It's a tool that you can use daily as you're, setting up your day, weekly as you're noticing what you have to tackle that week, monthly as you might have a theme of something that you want to really incorporate more in your life. So basically, here's how it works. And it's so simple. And if you have a piece of paper, just jot it down. You can go back to this recording, and when you have time to do the exercise, you can do it. So draw 2 circles, and then list down 1 through 7. And what you're going to write in 1 through 7 is the values, the things that you really like to do every day, the things that you have to do every day, the things that you love to do every day, that the things that make you you, and also be able to feed yourself and feel joy, and like you're spending your energy and the time the way that you want. But we all have those requirements in life, the things we have to / want to do, whether it's work or taking care of kids and family, or if you have pets, they're all of those kinds of things that we do. And then there's the things we choose to do that are unique to us. So take a minute and write down the 7 values that you have. Here's some examples. It could be like family, relationship, art, working out, nature, cooking, being spiritual, being creative, gardening. Those would be some of like 7 values that you could jot down for yourself. And then I want you to translate how much time you spend on each of those areas. And I guess we're going to base it on, like, if we're working with a circle, so we're going to base it on like a 360 degree parameter of a circle, or circumference, I'm not sure if that's the right word. And you're going to actually establish a pie. And the way that you separate out that circle in a pie format is based on the percentage of each of the values of the things that you like to do. So if you have to work, like let's say 50% of the time, you're probably going to cut that circle in half and say 50% of the time you're going to be working. And the other 50% of the time, that's based on 100%, but I'm not going to get into math right now, that you're going to be actually getting to do all the other things that you have to and want to do in your life. And so we have to be really conservative and really thoughtful about how we spend time, because we don't, in our lives, we really have to manage that. That's one of the things about being a responsible adult and person in the world, interacting with people and working and having responsibilities, is managing our time. So I want you to think about the amount of time you have left and what's the most important way for you to spend it. So there's two circles. One is the projection of what you'd like to have more of in your life. And this could be for just this week. This could be just for this day. This could be the goal you have in mind. But I also want you to talk about what's happening now in your life. What are you doing that you really are glad you're doing? What do you feel like, I never get to do that and I really want to be able to do that more? So take a minute to just think about how you spend your time. What gets most of your time? Is it what you would choose for yourself? And is there something that's really depleted in your life and you know, if I did that thing, I would have so much more energy? I want you to just consider in your second circle that you add that in, and consider in your second circle how you're going to create the time and space for that so that you get to take up the space that you have in your life the way that you want to. And so I want you to think about how you're doing it now and what you would like more of. So I'm going to actually take a minute and jot it down so I have something to say that's reflective of you, of this exercise, so we can share it a little bit. And you can feel free to comment below on how you interpreted this exercise and what you're working on. So in my circle, what I started to think about was that work can actually sometimes be made more efficient, and that there might be other parts of your life, parts of my life that I'm incorporating in doing a little bit different kinds of work in some of my other times of the day. So a lot of times I meditate and get my biggest inspirations. I hike and get my biggest inspirations. So those could be considered for me my work times. I also listen to a lot of podcasts and try to get and educate myself about a lot of different things. So I can actually move and do those things at the same time, or I can cook and do those things. I can be listening to podcasts and to people who are the people I follow. Other things I noticed was, aside from making work more efficient, that I could also combine things together. I could combine friends with exercise and friends with travel and friends with nature. So there was a way of combining some of the things that are the most important to me. And then my individual kind of spiritual time, that is solo time, and I could put that into a part of my day that doesn't really interfere with anything. There's no competing factors, so it always gets to be there for me as one of my baselines. And then time in relationship, time in family is also part of my daily cutting out space for people who feed me and things that are really important for me to feed, that I feel like there's a reciprocity going on, that I get just as much out of making time for things, because I get so much energy from doing that. So if you notice, where are the areas? These are the reasons why I wanted to sit and do this with you for a minute. When you think about the areas in your life that you could adjust so that you can get more of your needs met and that you can stay consistent in your life pie, That's critical. And it's going to be unique to you how you deal with the life pie and how you revisit it. So I will have a link of just a life pie example with the 7 values. And of course, I want you to find your own. But in all of this, I want you to create a baseline that sticks for you. And you might adjust it from time to time, because you might go into a season where it's summer and you want to be outside a lot. And so your value system will change, or your baseline will change. But what I really want you to acknowledge is having a baseline, having some emotional intelligence, having some perception about your inner workings and your evolution, and the intentional way that you're going about your life really helps you be more solid, steady, and get and dream about your life in a whole different way. So that's what I'm wanting for you. And I hope you got a few little gems today that you'll keep working on. I'm always so happy to see you on Wednesday. This is getting easier and easier. It's now been 7 weeks. And so I feel like I've gotten over the hump of getting on. And now I have a new background. This is my live Facebook room where I will do a lot of lives and a lot of other talks in this room. So I hope you're enjoying the new background. And thank you so much for just being with me and sharing some ideas with me. I really appreciate your presence. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.